2025, what's coming in. So I did pull a fair amount of cards here, and I'm not going to, I just sort of do them en route here, guys, just because I don't have a lot of time. So I thought I'd just do this one because I have just felt like it on the mind here. So anyway, what we're starting off with, I'll just go through them on a general basis, and then we'll do a synopsis and bring all the words together so there's more meaning. And I'll talk about what's coming in as far as astrological signs, all of that. So this is more of a general reading. Won't resonate for all of you. Some of you may be on, you're going to be on different timelines. Some of you may be coming into this energy. Some may be currently, going out of this energy. Take it as it resonates. Some of it may not even be relevant for you at all. So let's just get into it. So starting off the month, we do have the energy of the Knight of Pentacles, followed by the Five of Wands. So in short, Knight of Pentacles, of course, is someone this could be involved around you, or this could be in the way that you're presented. And I'm also doing a health reading on this as well. For those of you that are interested, we'll cover finances, and then we'll also do we'll do a little bit as far as just the general read, people maybe around you and how you're thinking about connections. So I'll pull a few other ones on that just because I pulled a fair amount first. So this is what we've got for Aries. So again, this is slow energy. It can be around finances and it can be around recovery if it's something to do with health issues. Five of Wands, it's still a bit of a hurdle. And again, we're going to tie it all in together, just going through it on a general basis first. Can be some kind of a hurdle here with the Five of Wands, still internal struggles, that kind of thing. Then we've got the Seven of Cups still coming in with a lot of confusion, a lot of options, and certainly Ten of Cups. This is something about confusion, possibly in regards to family, but there's also something there that speaks to some happier times. The main energies out, though, of course, are the first cards. So those are the paying attention to more with the major arcana, which would be the Chariot. This is big moves, big strides, big decisions, things along that line. A lot of determination, especially with the Strength card out here, to get through something. And then we've also got the King of Pentacles. So this can also relate to things around money. Certainly does look like it's more mature energy, but there's a lot of slow, methodical steps coming in here as well. We also have Five of Cups. There's been some disappointment in around something that can represent as someone in that same frame of mind here. Now, there is some form of struggle coming in, and that's with the Eight of Swords. It's almost a self-sabotaging energy as well. And so what I would say there, we'll kind of clarify that as we go through, but Ace of Pentacles, for some of you, this may look like you've had some decisions around finances or around money or a job or something that's not quite coming through. Again, we're going to tie it all in together. This is just the general aspect first of each individual card. Four of Swords, rest, recuperation. It can be vacation as well, but we'll tie that in the other cards and it'll make more sense. Eight of Pentacles, working hard at something, of course, and certainly does speak to a lot of determination. Page of Wands can be dealing with a younger person here as well. Communication could be coming in here. Death card, big transformation, big changes coming in. And I do see some kind of level of abundance or some level of around a mother figure or something here that is internally shifting. We also have Ace of Swords, a lot of clarity coming in there. This is also a thing of information that may be, but I suspect because it's followed by the Hermit, this has more to do with really clarifying who you are, what you want, out of life, and really making some sense of that deep introspective energy. And then we've got Eight of Cups, distancing yourself there away from maybe from others at this time, and really spending more time around trying to heal the heart. And again, we're going to go through physical aspects as well, but Three of Swords, wounded heart, and certainly some hardship or conflict around that. Knight of Swords could be that there's been some harsh words or a younger person involved here as well. Ten of Pentacles, lots around family matters here and legacy. Okay, so now we're going to get right into it, and we'll talk about things on a more specific basis. So as I started out here with the Knight of Pentacles, and again, we'll go through some of the clarifying energy to tie it in with astrological signs. I don't do a lot in terms of astrology, but I am trying to get into that. So hopefully that'll be something you guys will stick around for. If you don't normally watch me, this is just how I do the reading. So what I'm starting out here with is, again, we're looking at the Knight of Pentacles. So again, this could represent somebody in your life that is, somebody who's very slow, methodical. This could be you. But it definitely is somebody that has more of an energy of needing to do things the right way. I'm going to say that this is, and of course, we're also going to look at the aspects of how that relates around your physicality. So, like I said, right now, Knight of Pentacles clarified by that Five of Wands tells me that it's a slow. If we're dealing with this in terms of a health condition, we'll start with that. It does speak to a slow moving, perhaps something that's a little bit resistant to change kind of a condition. And then again, there's some kind of inner as well as outer struggle, possibly again, that internal conflict is what's slowing things down because of discomfort or tension, something like that, not really wanting help, wanting to take on the challenges yourself, something along that line. But again, I would still say that this is still dealing with it on a minor level. As you know, how things, it's not something that's blown up and overdone here. Slow incremental changes. Now, we also have, and again, we'll go through the money aspects and all of that too in relationships. But Seven of Cups does tell me, again, that's clarified by the Ten of Cups. So this could very well be in around a family situation, family dynamic, people that you consider to be family or very close to you, long-term connections. There is some kind of confusion or emotional overwhelm. And again, it's like there is something of a happy connection and still something that's pretty much kind of alive about the scenario. But there's also a situation here that seems like there's a mental fog. So I don't know if this has something to do with a mental issue or if there's something there that relates around you know, confusion around family matter. And again, it's something to do around with the emotions anyway, the happiness, the aspects of that that might be coming into play. So King of Pentacles is also that energy, like I said, that is a mature energy. And again, this can be somebody that is, because I see it with the Five of Cups, I feel like there's disappointment in the way the body may be healing. For again, we're trying to keep it on the first level of it, and then we'll go into the others. And then we also have the Chariot here next to the Strength. So again, looking at this from a point of, you know, health, I would say that a lot of determination to heal the body. There's a lot of support here, especially with the family dynamic coming through. In terms of travel, I would say that there is a lot of support here. There's determination. And I feel that you can, you know, I feel like you would want to travel. However, it may not be easily done, but with, you know, a lot of coordination, strength, planning, I feel like the will is strong to really get something done. If it almost feels like, hi, Steph. I'm sorry, I'm just reading your comment there. Oh, you're very sweet. I appreciate that. No, thank you for watching. Yeah, so, but the Chariot and the Strength, and I will definitely pull cards at the end for everybody if anybody's asking a question. Just so I don't confuse the read now. But the Chariot, like I said, is still indicating there's a lot of support, a lot of determination, a lot of strength to get through something. It does take a certain amount of planning, though, and I say that because this is slow incremental changes, and that does require planning. That does require a lot of structure. King of Pentacles, all the same energy. You know, somebody who in your, you know, and in this space, and it could be dealing with a water sign here as well, but I do feel like there's still lots of energy here around needing to plan or organize something here. So I would say that if it's relating to travel, it can happen, but not without a lot of structure and planning. I'm just reading. Oh, I will. Yeah, I will do. You want me just to write down your name? I'm not really quite clear on that exactly, but if you could detail that, that would be helpful. But again, because we had the King of Pentacles out here, I do feel like this person, if we're dealing with it in a physical level first, again, I'm doing this in a mountain of ways here, but we'll get to each one. This is more along the lines of, you know, remembering, you know, who you were once stable, maybe strong and capable. And it's almost as a level of mourning that loss, you know, as though something has become unstable and, you know, the physical strength in some way has been reduced. And so it feels like even though you're reduced in resilience, for again, whoever this resonates for, there is something here that speaks to a lot of strong energy and it's very transformative. So I would say, especially because of this Chariot and the Strength card, you know, this is somebody who's pushing through. This is somebody who's very strong. This is who really has gone through an awful lot and does not give up easily. Page of Wands is also clarified by, again, the Death card as well as the Empress. So Page of Wands is energy that shows me that there is still a vitality that's involved here. So there's a spark of of energy, but there's also that understanding of needing to accept change. And I feel like that's what's happening right now in the month of May. Is going through a process. The process is tied into the mental state here, is that, um, and hi there, Larkin, but so I was just reading more comments there. Not sure what you mean there, Steph. But anyway, the death card is, like I said, it's somebody who is embracing change. They're accepting change, and because of that ability to kind of grow into, you know, into a different, seeing yourself in a different way. So, and having that to grow into yourself is allowing you to spark, a return aspect of, you know, maybe all of, for some of you it's going to look like feminine qualities, or at least having a sensitivity to things that are fragile but emerging, like you're emerged stronger than you were before. And I feel like that's because you're embracing more of the nourishing the body, and something that seems to be more that's good for you. I mean, so whatever it is that you're doing now seems to be healing the body in some way. Now, the other part here is we do have a lot of cards of challenge for sure, but the main energies out are that you're strong-willed and you've got the ability to overcome this, whatever it is you're dealing with. Now, the Eight of Swords is you're trapped by your own limitations. It's not anything external to you. I'm not saying that there isn't something here that you're contending with, but it seems like a lot of the mental aspect is also what is holding back some healing here for yourself in some way. So I would say you're kind of trapped by your limitations physically or mentally in some respect. And again, it's self-induced, it's limiting with this, but it does still speaks to a new start here. And it does feel like a very grounded start. It's like you're getting some kind of second chance or opportunity. And again, this could be something along the physical in terms of body, or it can also be a job or something that's coming through, but it feels like a choice or a decision that you have to make, you alone. And again, it is still based around, giving yourself time to rest and allow for some sense of gentle recovery. So it does, confirm here with the Eight of Pentacles further out, which I'll get to here, that, there is going to be small, consistent effort. And then you'll regain more function or more ability or more, of again. And sorry, I'm just reading, not quite, sorry, I don't understand stuff. But I do feel like with the Ace of Swords, it feels like, consistent effort because of the Knight. And there's so many cards here of drive, will, and grounded energy that it really tells me that you're in a place of, you do things the right way, or you do them methodically. You have a level of organizing yourself in such a way that, that requires you to keep things structured and able to advance. So that's what I see going on here. Now, the Ace of Swords, like I said, still speaks to a major insight of some sort that's coming through. And it does also indicate that there is, again, some cards here that do indicate travel, especially with the Chariot also. But there's a lot of information that's kind of cool as well with the Hermit that indicates this is something of a reflective state. So feel like you're considering your life's path and, where to go, and you're kind of dealing with some of the emotional pain. Because the Three of Swords also comes out here, but you're all distancing yourself and releasing some of this at that point. So I feel like you have a desire to take quick action with the Knight of Swords also, fulfilling something very important to you. And I feel like that is possibly something in around, or something in around a trip, or something around legacy. But I definitely see that there is something here that has a call to healing. And I say that because the cards at the bottom of the deck are Judgment and Seven of Wands, which are positive. The Judgment was the big card out, and that's the most transformative energy out here. So it does indicate that judgment is a call to healing. It's a spiritual insight. Something is coming through, and perhaps it's just like that final opportunity to give you that second chance, or whatever, to get into whatever it is that you're trying to resolve in your life. The Seven of Wands tells me you have a lot of inner resistance. There's a lot of strength, a lot of adversity that you're fighting through, but you fight for what matters to you. So that's really good energy. Now, there is a lot of cards that kind of speak to a transitional phase here. And again, that was coming through with Eight of Cups and then the Hermit, all of that introspective sort of energy. And then we had so many of the healing cards here with the Eight of Pentacles. So what I want to say there is that it still feels like there's a transitional phase that you're undergoing, and it's a slow navigation through these limitations, through the fatigue, through the emotional, issues that you've been weighted down by. I do feel like you will improve in the month of May. Mental clarity may kind of come and go, but your emotional intelligence is quite deep. I feel like you are somebody who's very learned or reflective, and the things that you do take on purpose and meaning. You're somebody who's very driven. Like I said, a lot of ambition here in this read. I do feel like I said, if there is going to be travel, it would be somewhere around late spring or early summer, maybe May to July, with a bit of support or some kind of break or whatever. There's something there that needs to be gradual. And I also feel like I'd say sometimes, with that energy there, we mistakenly think that, when something is slow, that it means it's on a decline. But in actual fact, I feel like there's a timing and a rhythm of things. So I feel like it's almost returning to, your soul in some way. And by doing that, you really get to know yourself in a different way than you normally would when you're, driven by ambition and those kinds of things. And I feel like there's a lot going on for you in this month because of that. I would say, like, the best advice here is, even if you are, kind of off in your own thoughts, I feel keep the communication open. It's better just to kind of be gentle and share moments of laughter. I would still say, if you're preparing to do something, for example, even travel there, which I do feel is possible, but again, there's got to be a lot of structure and a lot of planning around it. It does not feel like it's something that you're just going to off the cuff do. It feels like it is something that is rewarding for you in some way, in a very big way, because of the Judgment card. So again, that energy tells me that it has something to do with closure, or it has something to do with a pilgrimage or some kind of something very significant to you, milestone. But I definitely feel like you hold a lot of power, and I feel like it comes in through your voice, in through your memories. There's something here around the Virgo energy here with the Hermit as well. So if take it as it resonates. Again, also with the Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. So again, all of that represents healing and inner focus, body wisdom. And again, I feel like you are somebody who's motivated by a lot of detailed routines. So I feel like whatever's happening here, a retreat is something I feel is probably really good for you at this time. And then we also had the energy of the Chariot, and we also had the Ten of Cups that was as well. But again, that still speaks to, emotional sensitivity. Cancer coming up here in that one as well. Very family-centered motivations. And I do feel like your desire for connection is really important. I feel like you're motivated by love and family reunions or things of that nature. Now, the Strength card, Leo card, so it could be also relating around that. But it does indicate that you have a lot of courage. You also have a lot of dignity here. And because of that, I feel like you want to hold your head high. You don't want to be in a position where you are seen as not strong, and you've got a lot of pride. And I feel like that is something that you do take very seriously. It's something that's very important to you. The card that came out there again, that one was sorry, going back and forth a bit here. Okay, now the Death card that came out there, 1 second. Almost there. There we are. Okay. So the Death card that did come out here, that also, as I mentioned, it is followed up by, we had the Five of Cups that was in there. And even though it's followed up with the Empress and all of that, there is still the energy of, deep emotional transformation. So you're facing some kind of grief, but you're also, with your Cups, learning to let things go. And I feel like that's what you're doing. It's like it's representing a chapter of your life is closing in some way, and it's now a place of earth and peace that's coming in for you. Also, with that King of Pentacles coming there, that's also, Taurus energy, but it's also about grounded physical energy and it's comfort. And so, because of that, I feel like these things that you want for yourself are achievable. And I do feel like it is, give time of rest for you. I think that things can go forward again with a lot of planning. There is still something here with the Knight of Swords energy that came out at the end. Um, and that one was kind of speaking to it's quick moving energy. So Sagittarius, July, but it's also, going through, there's a certain level of urgency or action that is needing to be addressed here, because this is where the insights come in, and then but whatever it is, it's emotionally driven for sure. But again, it's clarity of mind that's also coming in very quickly. Now, if we were to kind of tie this in for some kind of a time frame, I would say like the Knight of Pentacles and that and that Four of Swords is slow, steady improvement, maybe 4 to 8 weeks. But again, that's with rest and sort of taking time for you. The Chariot is a Cancer, so that's late June, early July. That's mostly, I would say, probably more likely for the window of travel, because it does seem like it's almost like something else has to take place first. But again, it's on the mind and it's still about planning it out. And I would also say with that Judgment card at the bottom, and again, that was followed up by the Seven of Wands. But that energy really is in around something that kind of speaks to a breakthrough. And that's where maybe you decide feeling better. And by the time it hits around June, July, things are a go. But it is also a breakthrough April to May or early May, something like that, about news or a conversation or something here about building up your confidence more so. And then again, the Strength card that came out there, this is all about with the Ten of Cups in there. And Ten of Pentacles. And again, these are all completion cards. Tens, tens, tens. We have King of Pentacles. That energy is all very mature, and it also indicates when you see a lot of kings or queens. It's kings, of course, are more of the completion energy. So you're very close to a lot of things completing in terms of fulfillment. So it's almost like you're ready for a new layer or a resolution of some kind of healing experience, and that be around family or some kind of reunion, something like that. So that's for whoever this resonates for. Now, just to kind of tie it all up, again, late April to early May, some kind of decision point or clarity is coming through. And again, that was kind of the Judgment and the Ace of Swords energy there for me. But I feel like you're mentally focused and sharper, even though your body feels tired, but there's emotional strength that's growing. So things are getting better. May to June is when I feel there's sort of gentle preparation, emotionally, and kind of getting things together. Things are more aligned. Your mood is starting to lift, a lot happier, that kind of thing. Small victories that might be taking place. And by June to mid-July, which is the Cancer season, and that was our Chariot card out there, and the Ten of Cups and the Strength card, I feel like that's when you get to resolve things and really there's more momentum going with, your goals. So I feel like you resolve, an ability to, pace yourself and get something going. What I would say is it's almost like you're moving now with purpose. And even though there's some body struggles for some of you, like I said, whether it's fatigue or whatever here, it feels like there's so much grounded energy here that I would say this is really quite a slow, methodical, steady approach to this. Definitely with Knight of Pentacles coming out here. And in terms of money matters, same sort of thing. It's methodical progress. It's consistency in a financial situation. It's slower moving than what you'd hope for, but it's careful management and it's stable time. So I feel like the journey for you is going to include things like gradually saving, preparing, making sure that you've got the resources for the things that you. There's also that energy of, indicating some choice, the Seven of Cups, Ten of Cups. So it's almost like there could be a risk of some illusions about something, but emotionally overwhelmed, however that speaks to you. And again, even though there's uncertainty in the plans, it's associated with, careful management, a lot of this read. So I feel like, and family is very strongly correlated. So I feel like in terms of your finances, it does signify so much here around stability, long-term financial planning. And I feel like your current challenges really have more to do with, grief or loss or something around, maybe for some of you, financial opportunities in the past, but I feel like you're healing from that loss. So whatever it is, you're letting it go. And you realized, you can't control all aspects of life. You can only, detach from the things that you no longer have access to. You've moved on. You're moving on to the next level. So again, Eight of Swords does suggest feeling trapped by, physical situation or something. You're trapped by something here with that Eight of Swords energy. But like I said, it still does indicate that, this is self-imposed. So it's something that you can overcome. And I did see the Eight of Cups come out here. So you're letting go of some of this. There is rest and recovery here. Again, your financial concerns might also be involved with taking a quick vacation or something like that, but it will give you some sense of relief here. So I feel like once you allocate resources and invest in the things that, matter the most to you, then you'll take swift action with that Knight of Swords, but it's also going to be you taking advantage of a situation that I feel will bring you about to either a reunion or something around family or something that you consider people to be, very close connections to. So like I said, overall, the energy is really good. And Virgo did come up here, like I said, with the Hermit energy, Scorpio, Death card. But the main card out was the Chariot, which is the Cancer. So I would say overall you're regaining some kind of balance, but you're going through, again, for some of you, this is emotional breakthroughs, like I said, but it's a slow recovery and it's improvement both for health and finances. But you have to have some patience here because there's family and emotional support around you. And I feel like, once you sort of figure out how you're organizing it all, and I mean, you're doing it piecemeal, step to step, because you're careful and you're a planner and you're resilient. And that's what I see here. It's a steady climb to, you know, make these decisions. So I feel like you've got some really good energy here to fix your situation. But like I said, I feel like there's been a long journey for you. But the main energy's out, like I said, with the Knight of Pentacles. So slow and methodical, going, still kind of, sabotaging yourself emotionally in some way. But overall, you are taking charge of your destination. You're making a decision here to get out of whatever it is that's been holding you back. And the main energy out is judgment. So that decision is coming in, that epiphany, you're figuring things out. And sorry, Steph, I was just reading. No, I'm not mad. I'm not, those aren't things that make me mad. I just don't understand the question exactly. But yeah, but like I said, you have really good energy here. So, do you, because that's what's happening here. I see you doing you. You are, like I said, you're planning, you're careful about money management. You're healing from something here. And again, it could be the heart space as well. But I definitely feel you are starting to release things in the month of May. And you're going to start to see that there is a lot of closure in certain areas. There are more clarifiers with the tens as clarifiers. So you're moving into this energy into June, probably for some of you as well. But the main energy out is you're making the decisions, you're taking action. There's still a little bit of self-imposed restriction here, but you are making decisions. And again, that's the main thing. You're making the decision in this month and you're getting clear. Something about a decision is coming clear in for you. Hi, John. So that's what I have for you guys. Yeah, and until the next read, sorry, I was just reading Steph. I don't know what you're asking me, Steph, to write a name down. I only try to put out positive energy because that's who I am. Our world is hard enough, so I definitely feel like we need to support each other. And I definitely feel like, each of the, when everybody, and of course we're all coming from different mindsets, so it's not like we all have to, hold hands and think the same way, but it's having tolerance for one another and allowing people to grow, despite the indifference. So keep on moving, guys. Keep moving forward, and we'll see you in the next read.